I know I'm in the minority because they sell by the billion, but I can't stand the super SUV. They're just so wasteful and pointless. And yet I'm a hypocrite because I love super estate cars, despite the fact they're equally heavy and silly. So to change my mind, to see if I can be impressed, I'm going to go on a Top Gear school run with my new dad. Just wanted to explain, because we shot this over a couple of days at Speed Week, my outfit magically changes when I get in and out of certain cars. Nothing to do with the fact that being driven around by the Stig makes you violently sick all over yourself. Anyway, where were we? Now, I don't really like fast SUVs, but I love super estate cars, so that makes me a hypocrite. But these are supposed to be the ultimate family cars, I'm told. So my new dad is going to show me what he can do on the school run. Now, obviously this is supposed to be a luxury car as well, so connected to the Wi-Fi, and I'm having a look at the Range Rover website. This thing's got 626 brake horsepower. Does 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. When it's going in a straight line, and oh, I can't look at this. I'm getting travel sick. Whoa. Yes, I think the hydraulically cross-linked dampers are slightly struggling there. It's a point for Land Rover. Really got to work on that when your dad's in a real hurry. Now, being a £170,000 luxury car, you've got to have some luxury features. So, glass roof, letting some light into the rear of the cabin, which good when the glass is tinted. Which makes it a bit brighter when you've gone for the darker upholsteries. No rear seat entertainment though. A real shame. What if I get bored on my way to school? Well, that was grim, actually. Quite impressive, though. I do fancy a go, even though it was like being trapped in a tumble dryer. Yeah, it's my turn now, please. Hello? Yeah, predictable. Let's have a go in the Audi. Okay, so this is the £177,000 Audi RS6 GT, and it has no more power than a standard RS6. It has a little bit of aero that Audi makes no downforce claims for. It doesn't even have any more boot space. So it's basically an RS6 with a half decent set of seats at last, and a fancy spanner that comes for free with the car, so you can adjust your coilover suspension. So it's kind of geeky. In fact, the main way you're going to tell an RS6 GT apart from a normal one, if you ever see one of the 600 and, hang on, let me check the plaque, 660 that they're making, weird number, is if you see an RS6 with one of 3 really dodgy wraps on the outsides. What do you think of this livery? Yeah, I'm not a fan either. So how is this meant to be the ultimate RS6? Feels like, I don't know, a bit of a pulled punch. You know, we all know how tunable this 4-litre Volkswagen Group twin turbo V8 is. They can tune it harder in their other cars, and then if you give it to the likes of Abt, MTM, Litchfield, they can pull about 800 horsepower out of it. So feels like they could have gone harder with the GT, but they didn't. So I don't think this is going to be my favourite ever RS6, but I still do just love the concept of the idea of a fast estate car. And ultimately, it's not just the look, you know, the more squat stance. It's just a more appropriate place to put what's effectively a supercar engine, isn't it? When your backside isn't somewhere up here, it just feels like the right place to sit in a fast car. There is improbable yobbery to be had on a track, but it's a bit artificial. You've got to drive the RS6 how it wants to be driven, almost tricking its diff into sending this mythical power to the back and then trying to ride it out. And if you want the most fun, fast German estate that six figures will buy, you're still going to have a BMW M3 Touring. When it comes to the GT, this doesn't matter though, because all 660 are sold out anyway. So I like RS6s. I still think this, the GT, the potentially last ever V8 RS6, the last semi-simple one before it all goes plug-in and hybrid and needs recharge modes and electrical strategy settings, and you probably have to have a board meeting when you want to take it on a track day. And I mean, what's that going to weigh? We already know that an M5 Touring plug-in hybrid is 2.5 tons. I mean, the Audi version is not going to be able to go over most bridges near my house. But while the RS6 is still here and still got a V8 in it, we shall enjoy it. We shall hope that Audi can keep building super Avants. And yeah, 177 grand, 50,000 pounds more than a normal RS6. No, not for me. This car doesn't quite justify it. But then here I am trying to make rational arguments about very silly cars. And speaking of very silly cars, let's swap from the 621 horsepower RS6 to the 626 horsepower SV. So, this is the £170,000 Range Rover Sport SV, the replacement for what used to be called the Range Rover Sport SVR, but this is supposed to be a very different kind of ultimate super duper SUV. For one thing, instead of the gargling Jaguar volcano of supercharged fury that used to go under the bonnet, you now get some German sensibility in the shape of the 4.4 litre twin turbo V8, good lord that's fast, from, well, an M5. Also look at the outside of it, it's smoother and less, I don't know, it's got less swagger and bravado about it. Some more demure, mature, it's a shy, retiring wallflower of a car, supposedly. Supposedly, it's more classy, more of a Range Rover and less of a yob. Now, I'm not sure about that. Does that mean that Land Rover doesn't know its audience? Because I think the people that bought these quite liked the fact that they were absolute, obnoxious ultra chariots. So what if you've made it more aerodynamic and given it more efficiency under the bonnet? I don't think that was what anyone was buying a Range Rover Sport SVR for. It's got absolutely bottomless reserves of torque, this engine. Absolutely amazing power plant. Doesn't sound like the old supercharged one did, doesn't have that cackle. In fact, like an M5, it sounds worryingly like a fair bit of the noise is coming from the speakers, not out of the pipes, but I suppose the neighbours will be glad of that. And it strolls on, like it's fast, properly, like stupidly fast. Not the speed king of SUVs, not when there's 800 horsepower Uruses and 700 horsepower Aston Martin DBXs. And of course, even with 626 horsepower, it's got 2.5 tons to shift around, but blimey. Third gear out of a hairpin and it's 3 figures. The thing with a car like this, even when you shove it into SV mode, which makes the paddles glow red and the dashboard show a G meter, is that every single line of praise you could aim at it is followed by for an SUV. It's chuckable for an SUV. It's very, very fast for an SUV. And this one is getting all the help possible. Cross-linked hydraulic dampers, ceramic brakes, and bizarrely 23-inch carbon fibre rims, which Land Rover instructed us to take off and replace with alloys before the SV strutted its stuff off-road, which, in fairness to it, the RS6 can't do. The carbon rims save around 9 kilos each. That's how mad the world's gone. We're not making lightweight cars, we're just putting feathery rims on a car that's the thick end of 3 tons. The thing I find myself doing while driving this is respecting it begrudgingly. I'm not sat here like open-mouthed in awe at what a wonderful machine it is to drive, but I do tip the cap with respect to the engineers who have made this tower block capable of, you know, going through this kink here at 125 miles an hour. It's just absolutely ridiculous. 2 quite ridiculous cars then, but I guess as long as uber tanks like that don't fully kill off the long roof estate, then the super SUV guys and the wagon freaks like me can learn to peacefully coexist. What about you, Stig? Would you take the Audi? Guess I'll take that as a yes.